the first season of the Sunday SITREP. It's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the second episode of the Sunday SITREP. Got a lot to talk to y'all about today. We're going to bring up some of this week's tournament results from Virginia and here locally in South Carolina. We had our first open of the summer. We're going to dive into that a little bit. We're going to bring in Bobby Edwards from For His Glory Outdoors here locally in Gilbert, South Carolina, nonprofit ministry for combat veterans. And then we are going to talk about his big tournament he has every year called the Guardian Classic. We'll dive pretty deep into that. But without further ado, I'm not going to keep him waiting. Let's bring in our co-host, Nick Udenbach, our founder. What's going on, Nick?
What's up?
Hey, man, I think I like this view better, so we're going to roll with this.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, man? How was your weekend this weekend so far?
Good.
Good deal. Some good news this week. We had something big go down in the AFFL.
Yeah, we got Georgia on board, which is awesome.
Sir.
Philip Hunt, he's a Army veteran, and he decided to take the reins and bring them on board. And we're really excited about it. A lot of great fisheries in Georgia, a lot of veterans, first responders. So it'll be a good addition to the team for sure.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for that, especially talking the Savannah chain area. Him being able to get some tournaments rocking there, and I know I've had a couple guys already ask about doing like a Georgia versus South Carolina on the chain. I think that'd be a pretty good deal once they get the folks in there to where we can make that happen. So before we bring in, we're going to bring in our Virginia tournament director today to talk about his results from their fourth qualifier on the Appomattox River. But before we do that, I just want to bring up, make sure you guys are liking, sharing, and commenting #TheSitRep for a chance at a hat, 2 barbecue sauces, and neck gator. Nick, are you hearing that feedback? I'm getting some feedback. If somebody in the comments can tell me if they're hearing that, I don't know if that's just my headset or what the deal is.
I don't hear it.
You're not hearing it? It might just be my headset, so no worries there. We're going to bring in Dave right now to talk about these. Oh, my wife's saying she hears it, and so does Kevin on my audio. Interesting. It's just when I talk. I wonder if it's my mic. I'll play with it for a second. Maybe that'll help it go away. I'm going to bring in Dave here. All right, Dave, what's going on, man?
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. I don't know what's going on with this audio. I'm hearing it really bad.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of audio feedback on this end. When you moved away from the mic a little bit,
So this is better. No?
That was better.
Huh. I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to play with it a little bit. We'll go over the results real quick, and then Nick, I'll let you take over and I'll play with some settings on the computer. So Dave, tell us about yesterday.
Yesterday was tough, 94 degrees. We launched a little bit early yesterday. We launched actually at 6 a.m. and weighed in at 2 when we had an original 7 to 3. It was tough. We had a few bags at 5, but not many. And the team that actually took first place only weighed 12.6. And big fish yesterday was 310. We had 2 actually weigh in 310. So Tim Covington and Nicholas Covington took first place yesterday. And I'm pretty sure that moved them up into the lead for the points because, unfortunately, I hit 10th yesterday. Took me out of the lead.
What's the average weight? Like, is that a normal winning weight out there, or is that low?
No, it was low. Normally, we have anywhere between 16 and 19 pounds that will win the weight. But yesterday, it was just so hot. Plus, we were fishing tidal, and the tide was coming in the morning. So the bite was just really slow.
Yeah.
I hear that. Tidal stuff's tough. We get to fish it a little bit on the Charleston coast and Cooper River. If you ain't hitting that tide right, you ain't doing it.
No, and honestly, I knew it was going to be a bad day at 6:30 when we pulled into the creek, and I dropped my phone in the river. So
Man.
I expected that outcome yesterday.
Yeah, I hear that.
You gotta get like an extra kill switch cord and attach it to your phone somehow.
Bad thing is I have a mount in my boat that I usually put it on, but
I hear you. Hey, just to address something in the comments real quick, I'm hearing or seeing the people are putting just hashtag SITREP. It's got to, for the giveaway, it has to say hashtag DSITREP. So make sure y'all fix that real quick or you won't be entered. That's how the giveaway program works. It has to read exactly right. Sorry, I don't want anybody to miss out on it. So tough day out there on the James, huh?
it was a tough one. It was our last tournament. It was qualifier 5. It was our last tournament for the year. Now September 14th on Lake Anna, we have a open. So we're looking forward to do a little bit of recruiting. Hopefully we get a good turnout. We're going to start advertising it next week. We're going to probably run the entry fee at $100 a team with 100% payout.
Heck yeah. Speaking of opens, we just had ours here in South Carolina, and I can tell you, we had kind of the opposite. I mean, it was tough for most people, but we had a 25.68 pound bag weighed yesterday with a 9-pound kicker out of Pax Landing, and I can tell you, it was not that good for me. I had 3 keepers and a bunch of short fish, but dude, a 9-pounder. That's the third one that I know has been weighed around the Pax Landing, Jacks Creek area in the last 3 weeks. Isn't that nuts? I mean, a lake that's been fishing so brutal all year and 3 9-pounders weighed that quick together.
That's crazy.
We couldn't get anything over 310 yesterday, and usually the James will pull in a 6.5.
Right. I mean, I've heard some really good things about that place this time of year.
It is. I just think it was hot in the tide.
I hear you.
I threw everything from wacky to spinnerbait to jig to slider rig, chatterbait. I caught one bass yesterday that was over 13 inches, and I caught 2 that were about 6 inches. I think one was 3 inches, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the bait was bigger than the fish. But I did catch a 15-pound catfish off of Alabama rig.
Right. That's fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't fun when you first hooked up on it. Thought it was a giant, then
I thought I had a monster.
you got catfished. You got catfished.
The old fish stories had 2 break me off, so they're probably catfish too. But
right.
All in all, we're looking good in Virginia this year. Our membership is up probably 300%. Last year there were 3 of us that fished, 3 teams that fished the tournaments. Loyalty, like it was a lot of loyalty from these 3 teams, and then they're all back this year, and we've picked up, I think, 11 more teams.
Right.
So hopefully next year, with all the advertising and the recruiting we're going to do, hopefully we'll double next year.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear you. And that's, very similar here in South Carolina. I think that's what it's going to do. I think we're just going to continue to grow in all the states. It just takes seeing people showing up, seeing that the payouts are worth of 10 boats, I mean, looking at your payouts here, I mean, $660 to win a 10-boat field. I'm not complaining with that. I mean, that's pretty good. And then same for us. I mean, our entry fee was lower, but we paid less places, and it was on South Carolina. It was $655 total. That was including big fish. That's pretty good for 10-boat fields. I would be happy with that.
It was, and
for sure.
We actually paid out 3 places yesterday.
Right, I've seen that.
So the 3rd place person actually collected $100.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, the third place angler was also tied for big fish.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right here. So did y'all just split that pot there? Just split the big
We did.
fish?
It was $150 for big fish, and side pot we split it 75 each for the 310.
Gotcha. I mean, your weights were really tight. 1206, 12, 1111 for the
Till you
top
get,
three. I mean, they're pretty.
get to the 10th. 82 points. 82 points.
Right.
We weren't going to go that far, Dave. All right.
All
Yeah.
I needed was 93 points to keep first place.
I hear you. It all happens for a reason, though. You'll get it next year, maybe. Who knows? But,
What about your drop?
yeah, you get a drop. Have you figured the drop
that's
yet
the
for your total points? That's what the drop still out.
And so only 2 teams fish 5 tournaments. So the teams that fish 4 tournaments don't have a drop, and that got me. So
Got you.
Dave, Shane Baker put a comment in there, said he texted you. Some fish texted him back.
That's
I love
pretty good.
that guy. He's EOD. So
Okay.
he has to have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Air Force, go strong.
For sure. Amen, brother. Amen. Well, Dave, I appreciate you coming on. I think we're going to have you on next week as our guest, right?
Yes, sir. I will continue to reach out to the team that won this week and the team that's going to take the lead in points and invite them to join us next week.
All righty. Good deal. Well, we'll definitely post that on the socials to make sure we everybody knows who's coming on next week. But yeah, let us know if they're willing to come on, and we'd love to have y'all and break down that fishery a little more and break down your whole season.
All right, great. Austin, I just want to say thanks for everything you're doing, from the design of the canopies to, the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for putting in the work up there to get us some more boats up there. It's growing us nationally. That's what we need.
And Nick, I appreciate everything. And so the guys down here, we appreciate everything you're doing as our big boss.
Yeah. I'm just one of you guys.
Hey, the league's
pleasure.
expanding. The league's expanding. We're getting a lot of recognition, and it's a great joint effort.
Yeah, and we're getting more vets and first responders on the water, so that's what it's all about.
That's it. Gentlemen, you have a great weekend, or should I say week?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to get a new phone.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll see you next Sunday on here. How about that?
All right, sir.
Good deal. See you.
Good night.
All right,
Take care.
Hey, Nick. Well, I don't hear it now. Yeah, I do. I think it's because you don't have headphones in. It's the sound coming out of your iPad coming back to me, maybe. Do you have headphones with you?
I can find some.
All righty. We'll see if that rectifies it. If not, I played with all my settings and everything seems good on my end. It could still be something. But we'll move on real quick. While you're messing with that, we'll talk about some of the upcoming events. We don't have anything going on in the AFFL next weekend. I'll just briefly run over all of July's events. So the next event coming up for the AFFL here in South Carolina, we're having another open 13 July on Lake Murray. After that, Louisiana, still waiting on Zach to finish up and we'll get for sure. But right now, he's estimating starting 20 July, starting to run the opens down in Louisiana on Toledo Bend, maybe Caddo Lake. We'll get more information on that once he finalizes what he's doing down there. New Hampshire, y'all got y'all's 4th qualifier coming up 27 July on Nick. I don't know if you're still sitting there and you can hear me, but I'm going to say this wrong. Ossipee Lake. I believe I said that right. So y'all, little call of action for everybody. If you don't know, or if you aren't fishing with us already, please, share the word and jump in with us. The entry fees or the payouts are only going to get better with the more boats we get. I've had a lot of guys personally tell me like, oh, well, I don't know if it's worth making a trip for 5 boats or 10 boats or whatever. If everybody stopped thinking that way, we'd have 50 boats. Maybe not. That might be an exaggeration, but we'd have a lot more boats. I'm not hearing it anymore, Nick. I don't know what happened, if it just fixed itself.
I turned my volume down a little bit.
Oh, maybe that was, I don't know. Maybe that was it. Or maybe not. Maybe this computer's being computers. But without further ado, let's bring in Mr. Bobby Edwards for his Glory Outdoors while he's giving me all these weird hand gestures in the backstage. What's up, Bobby? You want to give me some of those, the okays again?
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? Guys, I want y'all to know, before we ever get started into this, without Bobby, I don't think, and all my South Carolina guys could agree to this, I do not think we could have ran South Carolina as smooth without your help, man. And I just want to tell you again from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It means so much. Help me set up, help me remember things in the morning and in the afternoon. It's great when you have a number 2 standing there helping with everything, because doing it on your own is such a hard task. And I couldn't have done it without you, man. I appreciate you.
Dude, thank you for saying that. And it's an honor, dude. I'm 1000% sold on what we got going on, what you guys got going on. And you guys know me, I'm ride or die. So it's an honor, and I love it. And working with you, it's great, dude. So you're doing a great job. You're knocking it out of the park, dude. I'm just trying to be your weapon squad leader. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate it, man. We got everybody. Well, that's how you know. I mean, we already got 3 people jumping on. Apparently, my daughter says hi in the comments.
awesome.
Brandon talking good, and old Gage Spagnolia talking good as well.
Nice.
Everybody down here loves you, man. So let's we're gonna talk. We're just gonna let the conversation guide itself. But I mean, all the South Carolina guys know you. I know you. Nick knows you. But what about the people in the AFFL that don't know you? That's why we got you here today, to talk to you, get to know you as Bobby, get to know For His Glory Outdoors, and then we're going to dive into your Guardian Classic and the awesome job y'all have done running that, and what's expected for this year. So tell us a little about yourself, Bobby. Your military background, the hunting, fishing, and what you do with For His Glory. We'll dive into that, but let's hear a little about you. What got you here where you are.
Right on, man. Well, I joined the Army straight out of high school. I was a GWAT baby, so to speak. I watched 9/11 go down, and I didn't have a plan for my life. And I knew right then and there what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And so joined the Army in 2003, spent 18 years as an airborne infantryman, retired, I think 3 years ago, and decided to reside with my family here in Gilbert, South Carolina.
Got you.
Yeah, man. It's a good time.
So, so what got you, and we'll use that to just lead into For His Glory Outdoors. So For His Glory Outdoors is your nonprofit ministry. It's a Christian-based ministry for combat veterans and all veterans, really. But what got you started there? Like what? I know, but tell them, that moment. It gives me chills every time you talk about it.
Yeah. So a little backstory: in and out of Afghanistan and Iraq for the better part of the first 7 years of my career, 7 to 10 years, and that led into a really dark time in my life, dealing with all of the stuff that most veterans are aware of, dealing with survivor's guilt, all of the subcategories of PTSD, and trying to seek everything in the world to cover it up, to fill those holes in my heart. Women, alcohol, primarily. And it led me down a really dark place, and all the way to 2015, where I almost committed suicide with a pistol. And God showed up in my house that night, in that moment. I had a command sergeant major for the last 6 to 9 months leading up to this particular night tell me every single day, Bobby, you need to find God. You need to find church, and you need to find God. Otherwise, you're going to wind up in prison or dead, both of them, maybe. And I blew him off and always said, God has nothing to do with me. God wants nothing to do with me. I've done too much damage in other people's lives for him to want to do anything with me. And that was all a lie from the enemy. I know that now. So the very next day after that night, I went to a random church service. Knew nobody in the church. Never stepped foot in the church before. It was Wednesday night. There we go. I'm going to start us off with the ums. So I'm going to take care of that for you tonight.
No, don't worry about it, man.
So pastor called on me, asked me to stand up, spoke into my life, prophesied over my life, brought things up that nobody knew about, that I talked to absolutely nobody about, that was stuff that I was going to take to the grave. And that was the turning point, was that night. I went home. I was drinking a half gallon of Crown Royal every day to day and a half, not a fifth, but a whole half gallon. And the Army had me on all kinds of medication at the time. I went home, dumped everything in the trash can and down the drain, and went cold turkey and started chasing after God, and started to learn who I am as a son of God and who he is as my father. And that's a continuation. It's still seeking that and chasing that down and running after that today. So it's definitely a process. But a year later, after that, I'm standing in the river in Alaska. I've got several of my men from my airborne infantry platoon with me at the time. We're fishing during their salmon run for salmon. And the Lord laid it on my heart that this is what he had in store for me. And so several years later, more and more stuff gets laid on my heart and spoken to me and spoken over me. And it leads me ultimately to South Carolina, to Fort Jackson, which I never thought in a million years that I'd ever come and serve at Fort Jackson. And I did. And then a radical shift in life again. Went through a medical board at 18 years. Was not planning for that. Can look back and see God's hand in all of that and that whole situation. And when I initially retired and initially got out, I told everybody on base, the guys I worked with and the friends and family, that I was going to get out and run after God with everything that I had, but I didn't quite know what that looked like. And so when I initially got out, I wanted to serve God, and I knew I had a purpose for the kingdom and a purpose for God and that kind of thing, but I didn't quite have it dialed in to what it is now with For His Glory Outdoors. I wanted to be an evangelist. I wanted to hit the road and go win souls and save people on the streets and that kind of thing. And I did that when I initially got out, and I did it for some time, off and on. And something was always off. And God kept bringing me back to For His Glory, And finally I submitted and said, you know what, this is what we're going to do. Me and my wife had been praying and fasting about where we're going to move because we just retired. And ultimately he led us here and he kept us here. And so initiated contact on For His Glory Outdoors. Immediately went out and ordered a Phoenix 721 fully rigged out for tournament fishing style bass fishing, and got everything set up. And so what that looks like now is taking veterans out on our bass boat, primarily Lake Murray right here in Gilbert, South Carolina, but also love to travel. Lake Hartwell is close by. We've been on Santee Cooper many times, Wateree, and would love to travel out of state as well. And so we take these guys out fishing, and it's that one-on-one time spent with each other where it's not me in a room, talking to somebody behind a desk or sitting on a couch, with all the college degrees and PhDs and everything, and the frames hanging up on the wall behind them, and trying to get me to believe that they know what we're going through, that they know what's happening at night, throughout the day, driving, at the gas stations, all these different things. There's no way that there's no way that they know. They just don't know. And so me having that background, me going through all of that, me trying to heal myself or cover it up, self-medicate in all these worldly fashions for so many years, trying to handle it on my own, tried the medication from the Army, tried the counseling, tried the Army substance abuse program, all of these different programs, and nothing worked. And so I gave God a chance, and God works. And so I'm out on the boat with these guys. We're able to connect one-on-one. There's a relationship there, even if we don't know each other. There's a brotherhood there. There's a likelihood there, a likeness of each other. There's two warrior spirits on that boat, and they link up and meet each other. And the walls are easier to come down. Conversations are easier to have with another brother versus somebody in an office that really doesn't know you or know what you've been through, literally, and have experienced it themselves. And so I'm all about just getting our brothers out on the water, getting them in the woods during deer season, and putting them in an atmosphere for God to do what he does best, to work on their heart, to begin to speak to them, to begin to enlighten them, show them that it doesn't have to be what it always has been. It doesn't have to be that way. We're not designed to live a life of, I was blacked out, Austin. I was blacked out drunk every day, man. I woke up feeling miserable every day and would have to start drinking almost immediately to make it through the day. And I mean, I'm not kidding, a half gallon of Crown between a day and a half. I was in it pretty bad, dude. And I tried to call it quits. I wanted to call it quits. And God intervened and said, I've got something different in store for you. And he has something different in store for everybody. Anybody that listens to this, anybody that comes fishing with me, anybody that comes fishing in the AFFL in South Carolina or any of that, I want you guys to know first and foremost that the enemy wants you to believe that that you're a nobody, that you have no purpose because your time in the military is over, your brothers are gone, you're alone, and it's all bullcrap and it's all lies to get you to isolate and to eventually get you to break down and take yourself off the X and take yourself out of the fight. And God is telling you right here, right now, through me, that there is a different purpose for you, a much larger purpose, even bigger than whatever you did in the military. No matter what tier 1 you were, no matter what unit you served in, no matter who you snatched up on a mountainside in Afghanistan, God's plan and purpose for you is much greater and much better. And so with that, I yield. I think that answered your question, I hope.
Amen, brother. Yes, it did. Like I said, I get chills every time. I've heard it a few times. I'll never forget, how we met was through the AFFL. You hit me up when I was in Jordan and I was just kicking out the information all over Facebook, trying to see if I could get interest in South Carolina and all of that. And you're like, man, how do I get involved or whatever? And we started talking here and there. And then I come back and I stood in that. I had only met you once. We had met for lunch and talked about the AFFL a little bit. And then I was out of a boat because I totaled a boat, went and bought one right before the first Guardian Classic. And I was standing there in that parking lot when you shared that message. And I knew like I wanted to stay involved. You know what I mean? I'm a man of God myself and always will be. And I'll tell you, I think you're a fantastic example because like you said, the enemy comes at us and we separate ourselves and get away from it for whatever reason. It might not even be intentional, right? Like you just might put other
Busyness.
things. Yeah, you get busy and you put the other things before God. And I can tell you for me as an individual, you've been a good example for me. And one of the reasons I got back into it when I did and started reading every night and started looking into expanding just reading a verse out of a plan out of the Bible app, but looking into everything, looking into the full scope and chasing him like you do. But I mean, that's about, the start and, what you do a little bit. But you didn't mention, I know you like to pop a thunder chicken every once in a while too. I mean, you got a good one this year.
Yeah, a real close friend of mine, Brandon Byram, a few years back, convinced me to go on a turkey hunt with him, and it was actually for my son Mason. He convinced me to bring Mason out to Fort Jackson, and mind you, one of my closest buddies when I was in was a Louisiana boy, turkey guy, turkey god, and he, when we were stationed in Florida together, he tried to take me out a few times. Never saw a turkey, never heard a turkey. Got eaten up by mosquitoes and everything, sandflies and everything else. And I was just like, this isn't cool. But Brandon convinced me to take Mason one day, and that was pretty awesome. He called in like 5 birds. They ran across a field that was like 500 yards long. They looked like baby velociraptors. Mason shot his first turkey on his first turkey hunt and my real first turkey hunt in front of me and Brandon at 59 yards with a used model Remington 870 20 gauge with no turkey choke, no nothing. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
That's a long shot.
Yeah, Brandon stepped it out. We took the rangefinder and everything. It was legit, and ever since then I've been addicted. So yeah, love the turkey hunt.
Yes, sir. So
Just want to real quick
go ahead.
Grab a couple of the comments in here. We have sorry if I say your name's wrong, Chris Ferroni. He wants to know how he can get involved with your organization.
Awesome question, Chris. Appreciate that. So you guys can find us on Facebook for His Glory Outdoors. We're on Instagram, the same at For His Glory Outdoors. And then thank you, Austin. Our website's www.forhisgloryoutdoors.com. My personal phone number is on the website. My personal phone number is on the Instagram, is on the Facebook. There's no, I don't hide behind a business phone contact. There it is right there. That's our address, and that's my personal cell phone number. So please go to any one of those platforms, check us out, check the website out. It's actually, we're in the middle of with a website designer who's getting ready to go in and revamp the entire website. You'll see there's nothing on there about the Guardian Classic thus far. That's all getting ready to change. That picture right there that you're scrolling to, that was a very first trip that we ever done as a ministry. That was Lake of the Woods, Minnesota, at Zipple Bay Resort. The man and the woman standing off to the left, they blessed us with one of their very, very nice cabins right on that waterway. And he's been a boat captain on that body of water his whole life. We went out and caught northern pike and muskie and smallmouth and what's the other one? Walleye, where you cut the cheeks out. Everyone likes the cheeks, right? So that's you, Nick, right? Walleye.
Oh yeah, walleye. Yeah.
So yeah, that was our first trip ever, August 2021. So wow. Thank you for pulling that up. But that's definitely how you get a hold of me. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me at forhisgloryoutdoors@gmail.com. Very, very cut and dry, very easy to get a hold of. And even if it takes me 24 hours, sometimes it takes me about 24 hours or so to get back. I've got a lot of voicemails, a lot of text messages. I'm actually constantly communicating with our brothers out there all day, every day. So if I don't get back to you immediately, don't Don't let the enemy lie to you and say that it's for any other reason other than, I just need a little bit to get back to you. So thank you for that question, Chris.
And then Will Payton Sr. said, outstanding organization. Gage Spagnola said, amen, changed my life from the day I collided with For His Glory Outdoors. Bob Frechette, he said, if you ever make it up to New Hampshire, I would love to spend time on the water with you and hear more of God's plan for us.
Wow.
We'll get him up here.
I would love to be
yeah.
there. Honestly.
Sure.
It's crazy. I'm kind of just like go as it comes kind of guy, go as I feel led by the Spirit and by God. And so I am literally always ready to walk outside, hook that boat up to my truck and drive anywhere that I have to go, meet anybody that I need to meet and take them fishing and get them out on the boat. And there's a lot of local people around here that help facilitate that in order for me to be able to do stuff like that. So I'm just waiting.
That's awesome.
Amen.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk about the programs you use or you get people into. Do you want to dive into that at all? I know you're in touch with some pretty awesome programs that really get some people help. I don't know if you want to get into specifics or not, but
yeah, sure. We can dive into it a little bit. There's two other veteran organizations that I am closely connected with and work with. The first one being ORW, which is Operation Restored Warrior. They are a veteran operated ministry as well. It is a veteran program. I can't say too much and dive too much into the weeds about everything because it's very unique in the fact that when you go to what's called a drop zone, every month we have drop zones spread across the country. It's a 5-day ordeal. You arrive at a drop zone with anywhere from 4 to 6 of your brothers, and you guys spend 5 days unpacking your rucksack, I guess is the best way to put it. It's biblical based, godly foundation and organization, and it's all based off of the Word of God. There is no kumbaya mumbo jumbo. There's no medicine. We're not petting horses and doing hot yoga. I'm not trying to take away from any of those things, if that helps, but it's the real deal, I guess is what I'm trying to say without trying to be funny. It's the real deal. And anybody that goes I'll finish with this. When you go to a drop zone, you have a one-on-one encounter with God that you've probably never had, most likely never have encountered before in your life. And it is very impactful and it is very life-changing. So that's the first one, Operation Restored Warrior.
And before you dive into that, into the next one, I mean, I know 2 individuals that you got into that program, and every time we talk about it, they talk about how much that program changed their lives. So that it's a pretty awesome deal.
Now, is that something that someone would get in touch with you to get into that program, or is that because we have that resources page on the website? So if you or anybody that's watching knows of any good resources like this for veterans and first responders, I want to add that to the website. But if you're working directly with them, obviously, I'd like them to go through you if that's the chain.
Yeah, for sure. They can go through me, but they also don't have to. So anybody out there that's listening to this and wants to give it a shot or just look at it a little bit more in depth, it's www.operationrestoredwarrior.net or .org, and there's information on that website. You don't have to go through me. You could go through the website. I think there's for lack of better terms, an apply now tab, if you will. Essentially, it's a contact form, your name, your phone number, and why you're reaching out. And if you can be as in depth or as vague as you like, and somebody one of our guys will get back in touch with you in less than 24 hours.
Awesome.
Amen.
Yeah, man. And then the other one is the Warrior's Journey. They are more what I would say or consider more broadly focused. Simply put, they are what I believe the VA should be. You can walk into a Warrior's Journey facility, and they're all around the country as well. And you can literally walk in, tell them what you need, regardless of what it is, and they have the resources and the people on staff to get you what you need, whether it's an attorney, a divorce attorney, a counselor, psychiatrist, all these different things. Like when people think what the VA should be doing for us and what they're supposed to be doing for us, that's what I would say the Warrior's Journey is doing for our brothers and sisters out there. And they're easily found online as well through their website and that kind of stuff.
Good deal.
Yeah. And we met with them at Hank Cherry's tournament up in January together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Can't speak highly enough of them.
they're going to be making a surprise visit down here this year, coming
Good
to the
deal.
Guardians Classic this year. So both Kevin and Clay are both going to be here for it, and I'm excited to have them.
Yeah, awesome individuals. I mean, they are awesome. And Kevin's a Air Force veteran, the guy who started it. Just take that credit there, or we can take it where we can.
You guys got to. You really do.
So, I mean, we've pretty much hit a lot of the For His Glory Outdoors. Do you have anything else you want to dive into on that topic before we move on to the Guardian Classic?
No, if you want to go fishing, please reach out to me. I would love to. I love fishing. The boat's in the shop right now. Minor tweaks and stuff. I blew the spring on the hot foot, like it exploded. Never heard of that before, but it did. So I was running a manual manual hot foot for a couple weeks. That's kind of scary at times. Just some odds and ends, but it's in the shop. It'll be out this week, and it's hot out there, but it doesn't matter. We can go anywhere. You guys want to go down to Sandy Cooper and try to catch a 9-pound bass? You want to go to Hartwell and catch some spots? You want to go out of state? Let's book a Airbnb on Lake Okeechobee and disappear for 4 or 5 days. Get in touch with me. I'd love to take you fishing.
Josh Morgan, I'm assuming you're talking about Warrior's Journey. He asked Bobby if it would be possible to have them in Tennessee with us. Maybe I'll let you pop that question, Bobby, if you want to talk to Kevin and Clay. They are extremely busy. I will start with that. Those guys are all over the place, and it would be really hard. Like, this is short notice for them, more than likely. To asking them to come somewhere in October is probably already a short notice, but we might be able to talk that with them.
I mean, we could even build on it for future events too. Maybe next year's event or whenever.
Right, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. But Bobby, you didn't tell me you broke your hot foot spring.
So the hot foot spring, I don't know how, but apparently 65-pound braid got wrapped up in it down there, and you guys know me on the boat.
But that it didn't surprise me.
And so when I cracked down on it, I guess that braid had it wrapped up so it couldn't expand, and snapped it. And then I took a guy out the other day for a few hours, try to get it on a mooring bite, and one of the power poles went out. We power poled down, and one of them wouldn't come up. So the motherboard on the top of the power pole, it went out, the chip, and it wouldn't come back up. So just for anybody that ever happens, because it will happen eventually, all you have to do, no tools needed, is take the top cap off of the other power pole pump, pull the silicone cover off. The motherboard and chip literally just pull straight up and swap them to get your power pole to come back up. But that's like a $250 gig right there. And then the Lowrance trolling motor may or may not have been defeated by a couple 4 or 5 footers a few weeks back, and so it's been hanging on for dear life. So she had to get a tune up.
I hear you. All right. Well, hopefully you can have it tuned up soon before the Guardian Classic. I mean, I hope you have it back by then. I think I lost y'all. Y'all there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my headset just cut out for a second. Okay. So this is the 3rd annual Guardian Classic coming up 31 August at Dry Island State Park on Lake Murray. Stay flight to 3. And I don't have when your registration closes. When is that?
That is the Monday before the 31st, whatever that is. The Monday before the tournament.
Got you. Easy money. So I just wanted to iron out some of those housekeeping items for it real quick. So it's a boater co-angler style setup where you have a boater and a co-angler and they get paired up, random draw, but you're fishing as a team. So it's not exactly like a BFL style because you're still 5 fish limit, bringing them in together. And then I don't know if you want to talk about the guaranteed payouts and how that came about or not. I mean, that's awesome. You get $10,000 off the rip. I mean, that's cool. $5,000 for first place, $2,500 for second, and third for $1,500. That's pretty stout for a charity tournament like this.
So, man, you guys, this thing is ever evolving. Chris Veroni, Chris Gramlin, Herman Vining, Chad Warren, Terry Thomas, all of these guys that are in the local bass fishing community here, and I know I missed a lot. There's a lot of you guys. So those are just the few that have really, Tony Gray, that have really cracked down and helped me out with this thing. Never ran a bass tournament before. So 2 years ago, leading up to the very first one, I was not defeated, but I had listened to the enemy, and he was just telling me over and over, who do you think you are to try to start such a profound tournament in this community, in this area? Nobody's gonna, all these lies, all this garbage, right? And I think I was with Brandon Byron. We were riding around in his truck. Might have been April timeframe, turkey season sounds about right. And Brandon just started speaking into my life and motivated me. He's like, dude, if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. Like you need to do this. Like God put this on your heart. Just do it. And just, it'll get better every year. And don't have any expectations. Just run a smooth, solid thing. And you guys know how I am. Everything has to be, Ricky Tick, so to speak. So anyway, we started, 2 years ago, and this year's the 3rd year, and it's not my opinion. This is what I get told all the time. It is the most unique and most awesome tournament out here on this lake every year. It's unique in the fact that you're right, Austin. It's kind of like a BFFL where you get a co-angler and a boat captain teamed up together in the same boat, but they're a team. And there's so many different intricacies. I don't even think I said that right, but I make up my own words from time to time, so bear with me. There's so many different things that take place in this tournament that make it unique. You have veterans of any capacity that are signing up to be co-anglers, that are signing up basically saying, I want to go fishing for the day. I would like to be put in somebody's boat and go fishing with somebody for the day. Simultaneous to that, you got boat captains that are signing up that have boats, that bass fish, that say, you know what, I want to honor a veteran for the day, and I want to take this veteran out fishing. Who cares if they know how to fish? Who cares if they don't have all the equipment? Who cares if they've never fished before? The whole thing about getting veterans in the outdoors to begin with, Nick, you've spoken on this with the AFFL, and me with Forest Glory Outdoors. The whole purpose of getting a veteran in the outdoors to begin with is that the outdoors, by the way, FYI, God's creation, does more for us, more for our hearts, more for our souls, more for us than any counseling session, any medication, any of that stuff. So that's the whole purpose. Get these guys out on the water. Let's get them away from the day-to-day busyness, all of the lives. Let's get them out of the house. Let's get them out of their four walls that they may have been, that they may be still hiding in, that they may still be trapped in, so to speak. And let's get them fishing. So boat captains are signing up saying, yes, I can buy in on this. Yep, I can drink this Kool-Aid. I want to take a guy or a gal that served and fought for the freedoms of our country, that's given me the opportunity and freedom to even buy this boat to go fish this lake with no mask on, and I want to give back to them. So you guys are supposed to laugh at that. That was an old Charlie 19 joke, but no. So yeah, boat captains are signing up to take veterans fishing. Then the caveat or the one of the other things to that is that if you are, say you and Nick were related, like let's say for whatever reason Nick was your dad, Austin, and one of the two of you were a veteran, or both of you were veterans, or whatever the case may be. You guys are what is it called? I'm thinking prime family member, but that's not it. That's
Just bloodline relatives.
Yeah, you guys are first line relatives,
Right.
father, son. We do some grandfather and grandson stuff, uncle type stuff. But when we start talking about he's my sixth cousin down the line and
Right.
that kind of thing, we're trying to, you know what I mean? But so we have it open up for you guys to sign up as a veteran family team. That completely takes you out of the random draw. Everybody else, for example, we have 26 veterans that are signed up right now. We have 13 boat captains that are signed up right now. 2 teams of those 13 boat captains are a veteran family team. So that leaves us, we have 11 open boat captains signed up right now. And what did I say? 23 veterans.
Yeah.
I say 23. Yeah. I believe it's 23. And
23.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, 25. We're 25 veterans. 25 veterans, 13 boats. 11 of those are open.
And you just opened registration.
A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sounds about right. And so something I wanted to talk about, I took note and looked at is, the first year, like you said, the enemy was really getting to you, and it was, you didn't think anything was going to come of it. I mean, it was ran fantastic. It was awesome. I kind of liked the trailer deal the way we did it. I know some people didn't like that. I thought it was cool, boat driving up and to meet Davey Hyde on stage, like the Elite Series. I thought that was pretty neat. But that year you had 33 teams, and then the next year you went up to 53 teams. It's a 60% increase, and you're already at half that right now, 2 weeks in. So I know your goal, you're praying for 75 this year, which would be 120% increase. So I just wanted to give a call to action to all of our people here right now. Like if you can, please sign up as a veteran, as a boater, whatever, and be there. I'll be there. I haven't ironed out if I'm going to fish yet. I told Bobby earlier I'm just going to be on the reserve if he has a boater drop out, because I'm planning on having our AFFL tent there and helping him do some setup, tear down stuff. So, but it's the Guardian Classic. You can find it. I see a bunch of people in the comments asking, "Oh, you hit that, Nick."
Yeah.
Find it on his Facebook, on his website, and please get signed up. I would love to see you have 75 boats this year. But I mean, like you said, it's not about the numbers. It's about getting the people out there. But a little piece about the numbers, the more boats we have, the more veterans we're putting out there.
Exactly. And the more people that are getting tied into Operation Restored Warrior, the Warrior's Journey,
Amen.
AFFL, we're trying to build a community here. We're trying to let everybody know that you're not alone. And that just because our time in the military is over does not mean that the brotherhood is dead and the brotherhood is gone. And so that's what we're doing. We're building a brotherhood. We're building a community. Wives are meeting each other. Kids are meeting each other. Veterans, you know what I mean? Like all the cookouts that we have over at our house. Not random, but veterans that have never met each other are meeting each other. And then they're leaving from here. And yeah, it takes some time, to work through the kinks and get to know each other and that kind of thing. But next thing you know, wives are connected, families are connected, kids are connected. We're building a community here. And that's all. That's all we're doing. The Guardian Classic, August 31st. For anybody who's watching, the boat captain that signs up, just a little bit more details about it. The boat captain that signs up, that person handles the entry fee. The entry fee is $125. That's Cash App or Venmo at For His Glory Outdoors for Venmo, money sign For His Glory Outdoors on Cash App, or JC's Outdoors off of Highway 378 right here in Gilbert, South Carolina, are accepting the entry fees there in person in cash or check. And so that is how you register. If you have any questions about it, you reach out to me. We have a conversation. I explain the tournament to you, figure out if it's something that you want to partake in. You sign up by paying the registration fee. And then I immediately send you a confirmation email with a very descriptive and detail-oriented description of the day of the events, the timeline, starting from the Monday before the tournament when we close registration at midnight. And then the Tuesday, the very next day, that Tuesday evening before the tournament, we get on Facebook Live. We're in JC's Outdoors. I normally get a bunch of pizza for everybody. You don't have to be there in person. In fact, it's just kind of like the tournament officials and directors and everyone that helps me out. We get together, do a live Facebook feed, to partner up the boat captains with all of their veterans, to remind everybody their boat number, because your boat number, your blast off number is in accordance to your registration. So these first 13 guys that have jumped on almost immediately, within the first couple of days, they understand they want to be out. It's going to be the end of August. They want to be out there, first thing.
And everybody's fighting for the heron points.
Yeah, there should be some of that going on at that time. What else am I missing?
I think
all the information is basically on our Facebook, For His Glory Outdoors. We constantly update it. Everybody knows me as the whiteboard guy this time of year. I get the big giant whiteboards and do all the teams and all the names and give you guys constant updates, but we're only 2 weeks in. So still owe that out to everybody, but get on the Facebook, For His Glory Outdoors, and you'll see the tournament flyer. You can get one in person if you're local at JC's Outdoors, PSA, Palmetto State Fishing Outpost, Simpsons and Sumter. They're all over the place around here. And if for whatever reason you want to come in from out of state, we have multiple people coming in from out of state again this year, a whole family coming in from Virginia. We had Airbnbs lined up. I think we had 4 or 5 Airbnbs lined up. And I think all of those are spoken for. But the Hampton Inn in Newberry, South Carolina, which is pretty much the closest place to Dreher Island. It's a nice hotel, a nice area. The two of us are working out details. I actually finalized all of those details this Tuesday, is when we're supposed to sit down and talk and figure out what they're going to do as far as a package deal type thing to support the Guardian Classic, support the veterans coming in from out of state or out of town that want a nearby hotel. So I'm believing for them to bless us with whatever it's going to be and help us out so we can get that information out to you. Would love to have Nick. I know you're trying to come, but I know you got the newborn and everything out there. But man, we really need to pull everybody in for this one. This is the one where we all come together. We all meet each other. We all build community, companies meeting companies, business owners meeting business owners, veterans meeting veterans, and get out on the water and take these guys and gals fishing. Come back. There's going to be. Do you guys remember, Austin? You remember the spread from last year? I mean, Pastor Mike McCormick with Berlin Baptist right here in our backyard. He took care of all the chow for us last year. They had a huge spread of barbecue and baked beans and coleslaw. So you come off the water, you go up on stage. Davey Hyatt, Bassmaster Classic champion, is doing the weigh-in for us. There with Tony Gray, who sets up his stage and the fish tanks and everything. And it's just a good old time, man. You weigh in your top 5 fish, and you get blessed. There's a lot. Everyone gets blessed at this tournament. There's honor bags, what we call honor bags. Every single angler that fishes this tournament gets an honor bag that has anywhere from probably $250 to $300 worth of product inside of it from everybody that supports this tournament, all of our local businesses that help us out and that kind of thing. All donations and that kind of stuff for this tournament are all allocated specifically for the tournament. So the more that comes in, the more everybody gets blessed and gets squared away. Every veteran walks away with a Lew's fishing rod, whether that's a spinning rod or a baitcaster rod. Got some secret news on that topic. That's going to be a big surprise on the day of the event. Vortex Optics is stepping up tremendously this year and going above and beyond with the things that they are sending us. Chris Baroni at JC's Outdoors has already got a Black Rain Ordnance $13.99 MSRP AR-15 that's fully Cerakoted in the Old Glory red, white, and blue American flag. The thing is sick. That's going to be given away. We're going to have a Glock out there. You guys know the deal. It's awesome, and it's just an honor and it's a blessing to bring everybody together and be able to say, go out there, talk to that man or that woman that's on the boat with you. If they want to talk, then talk. If they don't want to talk about it, then they don't have to talk about it. Then we can just go fishing and have a good old time. But you never know what kind of connection you're going to meet or what God has in store for you or what he's going to speak through you to that veteran on that boat. And if you're a veteran that has a boat, sign up as a boat captain. Guess what? We're going to put another veteran in your boat. So now it's 2 brothers in a boat fishing together, which I really like that. When that happens, I really like that a lot. And there's some sticks out here and there's some local boys out here that sign up. The first place winner from last year, he's already signed up as another boat captain. Guess what? He hasn't even asked me to put the same guy in his boat. He wants another guy. He wants to go put another veteran on some fish and bring in 20. What did he have? 20 something pounds.
26 or something.
Yeah, 20. I was going to say 27. So yeah,
27 maybe. Yeah. It was
I mean,
ridiculous for September. But
Brian News still can't win one. So you got professional bass fishermen coming to this tournament. Hank Cherry may or may not fish this tournament this year. It's all based off of his son is an excellent baseball player, and they find themselves in the championship every year. So when he's not on the water, he's 110% family focused with his kids and his wife. So completely understand there, as all of them are. They get done. Their last tournament, I believe, is 2 weekends or 3 weekends before the Guardian Classic. So completely understand there. But yeah, that's part of the random draw. You don't even know who's going to get put in Brian News' boat or whatever professional decides to come out and fish this thing. And none of the guys have won it yet. They're getting smacked around by the local boys out here that are putting veterans on fish that barely even know how to fish. Paul Walter, he's a veteran co-angler, and he is the back-to-back veteran champion co-angler. And he's been in 2 different boats each year. So he was first place with his boat captain on the first year. He was first place with his boat captain. You know what? I might have to bring in a polygraph. Now that I'm sitting here talking about him, that boy's got a couple of my trophies up on the wall from the Guardian Classic. I might have to figure out what he's got going. You know what, Paul Walter? If you're watching this video, brother, I I know we stay in contact pretty good, but we need to go fishing, dude. I want to know what you got going on, dude.
No
Teach me
kidding.
something.
No
But yeah,
kidding.
that dude, guys, any other questions? That's the classic, man. It's just bigger and better every year, man. You know,
It's an event. Like
Yeah, it is.
It's not a tournament. It's an event. Like the whole day is. I mean, you get there at 4:00 in the morning roughly, and then we're not leaving until 5, 6 in the evening. I mean, it's a full day, and every minute of it's awesome. Talking about Davey Height, I look like Ricky Bobby up there on the stage. When he was like, "Well, tell me, Austin, what'd you and Mike do or whatever?" And I'm just over here like the boat. Handle real good. The boat handle real good. Yeah. He was I mean, it's cool, the whole thing, standing in line with Brian New and last year I was partnered with one of your best friends from the Army. I know y'all deployed together back in the day and went through a lot of training together, Mike Kramer, and hearing some stories I can't tell on here about you. And I mean, it was awesome. I mean, just linking with those guys, and it's cool seeing those guys. It's a great time.
Thank you. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it would be worth it to come from anywhere in the country, honestly. Just my experience. I know lodging's a factor and everything like that, but it is fantastic. The whole we didn't even talk about the morning blast off. The
we don't talk.
Glory speed.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we kind of. There's some things that I try to incorporate inside of this to make it like, for the ones that haven't partaked in it yet
100%.
and don't know, it's a kidney punch. You know what I mean? It's a heart punch. So and it should be. This started off and still is. It is a 9/11 Memorial Veteran Bass Tournament.
Right.
That's what it is. The unfortunate side of this year, it's on August 31st. It's not as close to 9/11 as we would like. However, there's major tournaments on the lake every weekend in September, and they wanted to double book us on that boat ramp with another tournament. And I try to stay humble as much as I can, but I don't think that this event is an event that can be ran with another tournament simultaneously. Like we need the space for the event. So, yeah, man, August 31st, it's going down, and can't wait to see everybody. Can't wait to have everybody there. We're doing a couple different things this year. Just want to throw this out there. We are incorporating. I don't even know if we've talked about this, Nick. I know you and I haven't talked about it yet, but we're gonna throw a little kink in the system. There's a $250 check for the smallest legal fish weighed in.
Oh, I'm fishing then. Now
here's the kick. So here's the kicker.
Do that.
You can't put into the big fish category and the small fish category. So, for example, we have a 5.5 pounder in live well. That's a respectable fish, but there's also probably another, I don't know, maybe not 50%, but 20, 30, 40% chance that, a 5.5 pounder, you can catch a 6 pounder out there, 7, you know what I mean? Like, it's not Sandy Cooper. So you have to weigh, am I going to weigh this 5.5 pounder for the big fish category, or am I going to weigh this 8-ounce, 12-inch fish or whatever, 14-inch fish
14
for the smallest fish, category?
That's pretty cool.
And then, and then on top of that, the smallest legal 5-fish bag weighed in is going to be a $250 check for that team. So
I might have to reconsider. I might not set up the 10. I might just go out there and win that. I think I got that.
Man, I heard you and the guy you had in your boat for the last tournament of the year for the South Carolina AFFL League, y'all freaking went out there and hammered down, bro.
Whacked him on the jig.
Yes, you know what I mean? I can't get the jig out of my hand now. I'm in love.
I got him addicted to the jig. Yep. That was a fun day, man. We needed that. We had a tough season. And talk about the enemy. The enemy was at us all season, and it was awesome to have faith and you shall prevail. and we did. It
Come
was cool. It was definitely fun. Gage Spagnolia, I forgot I can do this, said he'd throw a Carolina rig. I don't know if he knows what that is. You better not be talking about my secrets.
I got a question, Bobby.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What if people are listening from or just want to show up from anywhere in the country? They don't want to drive, and they get partnered up with someone as a co-angler. Are there rods and stuff for them to use on the boat? Like with their
Awesome question. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Every boat captain has to understand that they are taking on the responsibility of potentially taking someone out fishing that has no tackle, that has no gear, and has minimal, if any, experience. That's most likely not the case. Looking back on the last 2 years, there's a couple instances where that's taken place, but it's funny how it just always works out that the right person gets put into the right person's boat and the right teams are made. I haven't heard of one instance where if someone's come to me afterwards and said, man, I absolutely love what we did and had a great day and everything, but man, that guy just, that hasn't happened. And I don't see it happening because here's why. The tournament is designed to get the right kind of people involved. We're not looking for that's the main reason why it's not an open tournament. You know how many people are pushing me to turn it into an open tournament? They're like, if you want numbers, if you want this thing to blow up, just open it up to an open tournament that anybody can fish, or make it so that there only has to be a veteran or first responder, firefighter, police officer, EMS in a boat, and anybody can sign up in open team tournament. I have nothing against that. I fish open team tournaments all year long. There's open team tournaments every weekend. This isn't an open team tournament. This has a specific design and purpose behind it. So it cuts out those guys that are sticks together, that have been fishing together, which I've got nothing against that. I wish that I had a dude that I could say that I've been fishing with my whole life, and that we just go out there and crush them and grew up on this body of water and that kind of thing. I've got nothing against that. But this alleviates those kinds of people or that, those teams signing up just to come and win the money.
Right.
$5,000 first place, that attracts. And I've had some heart-to-heart conversations already thus far this year, with people. So to circle back around, sorry, Nick, to your question, if you're trying to fly into town or you don't have any equipment, either one or two things are going to happen. Either your boat captain is going to be prepared to square you away, or For His Glory Outdoors is going to square you away with what you need. So yeah, don't be afraid to sign up if you don't have anything. If you're trying to come in from far away, we will get you taken care of. We will take you over to JC's Outdoors and get you squared away.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen. And a lot of these folks, don't have gear. I know a lot of the ones I talked to the first year and last year, some of them aren't even like fishermen. They're just veterans that see an opportunity to learn how to fish. So
there's been guys on that point. Sorry to interrupt, but
no.
I'm glad. It's something I wanted to talk about, so it sparked my memory. There's people that have bought boats and have started fishing, maybe not tournament fishing just yet. Both. Some have started tournament fishing. Some have just started. There's guys that were at the first classic. There's guys that were at last year's classic. There's guys that didn't have a boat that went out and did this thing, would not consider themselves, like you're talking about, Austin, fishermen or know how to fish, and was like, this is what bass fishing is like. This is what blast off is like at the beginning of a tournament. Oh yeah, I'm down. And
that's it.
And
that's
guess what? Now they're on the water. They're out of the bar. They're on the water. Exactly. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Sorry,
exactly.
I didn't mean to.
No. That's what it's all about. Exactly that is getting those people, if they've never fished before or are new to fishing or whatever, they've only fished out of a pond and they come out to your event, they get put into a tournament for the first time ever, and
It's
then addicted, and takes all them other things, and now they're focused on this instead of that. That's what it's all about. And that's kind of one of my things for the opens that we're doing in South Carolina. I'm hoping to find a couple of civilian boaters that don't have a veteran, don't have a first responder, to put in the boat with a veteran, or find a veteran. I've got 3 or 4 veterans here in South Carolina that need a boater. So if y'all are listening and you're down here, I've got guys, I'm sure all of our states do, that have a veteran or first responder that are looking for boaters. So if you're a civilian watching and you don't have that affiliation and you need it, fish our derbs, boom, there you go. We got the people. Reach out to your directors, and we'll maybe do exactly what Bobby said. Change somebody's life and get them away from those other things. That's what this is all about. But man, I think we've kind of hit all the notes, and we're starting to run a pretty good little bit over an hour. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come on here, share with everybody what we have going on, what the Lord's put in our heart, and that kind of thing. And I also want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of the AFFL. Like we said in the beginning, it's an honor, and I'm ride or die, man. I'm 100% in. So love you guys. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do too, man. I mean, the South Carolina division could not be near as smooth without you. And honestly, Caitlin just said it. I was sitting here thinking about it. She just said it in the comments. Thanks for sharing your story. I mean, you went in depth, and it takes a lot to go into it the way you went into it, and we appreciate you coming out, sharing your story with all of the AFFL and all of our listeners tonight. Man, what you do is awesome every day, and keep doing it. Don't let the enemy get in your head like you talked about before. We talked about it a lot. We talk a lot, but keep it moving. You're doing the right things.
Thanks, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
You as well, Bobby.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get to it. I know Walker's probably going crazy right now.
He snuck by a couple times and has given me that look. He's ready. We normally do like a Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels WrestleMania match every night on the bed before he goes to bed. So I'm gonna get in there and jack him up pretty good before he goes to bed.
Heck yeah, man. Well, we'll let you get to it. Thanks again for coming on, and it won't be long. We'll see you on here again.
Yes, sir. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, man.
All
Love
right,
you, brother.
thank you, Bobby.
Love you, bro.
All right, that was Bobby Edwards from For His Glory Outdoors. As y'all can tell, absolutely awesome gentleman. His organization's fantastic, and when I say genuine, I mean everything that man says is genuine. It's from the heart. And I know some people see him a little, stone cold sometimes. He's brutally honest. He ain't gonna front you. He's gonna tell you how it is. And I think that's something that I've always enjoyed about him, because he'll tell me straight up, like, oh, hey, you're messing up here or whatever in the AFFL, and give me honest suggestions. I appreciate that kind of feedback. So
for sure. You need that honesty.
100%, man. 100%.
Yeah.
You have to have that. You can't live without feedback. You'll never progress. You'll never get better. So we got a couple people in here. We've been kind of off the comments. I've got a lot of South Carolina guys in here. Thank you, guys. I see Hogan and Nathan Tyson, Gage.
I'm seeing people from all over. I see some Louisiana guys, New Hampshire, Virginia.
Our 25-pound sack gentleman is in here. Joshua Brogdon. He was fishing with Blake Winus, and 25 pounds yesterday, and then in a 902. I still can't get over it. When they flopped them in the bucket, I was just like I could see through their bag. I was like, oh, it looks like a good bag. And then they flopped them in the bucket, and I was just like, that's a giant.
Just throw my fish back in the lake when I see that.
I didn't even weigh my fish. I had 3 dinks in a live well, and they weighed, and everybody else had a limit. And I was like, I ain't even gonna weigh mine. There ain't no sense in it right now. There's no points on the line. But congrats again to those guys yesterday. I think I didn't really dive into the South Carolina results too hard earlier because I was distracted with the feedback issue we were having, but man, those guys absolutely crushed it. And thanks to everyone that showed up yesterday, despite the brutal heat. I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah.
But before we start talking about our sponsors, man, I just want to give one more call to action for everyone. Go over there if you're not following Bobby and his organization For His Glory Outdoors. Make sure you get on his Facebook and his Instagram. He stays up to date and posts pretty much daily. Make sure you give them a follow to stay in tune with what's going on with the Guardian Classic, and make sure you're not missing any deadlines for the registration on that. And feel free to visit his website. I didn't talk about it because we kind of moved on, but he also has a donations tab on his website for y'all to donate to if you feel that calling to donate to him. It'll help. Any dollar helps him. I mean, he's living off of retirement, so anything helps.
Don't forget the giveaway.
The giveaway. Yep, that's what we're about to do. So before we do the giveaway, though, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Like we always do, you know, Strike King, Lose, Southern Fusion Outdoor, or Southern. I always want to say Southern Fusion Outdoors. I don't know why it always comes out that way, but Southern Fusion Barbecue, Yellow Tack, and Tactical Fishing, Crazy Hick, Bait Co. I mean, these guys have been awesome to us so far. We've got a lot of giveaways, and they're sharing our stuff on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I mean, that goes just as far as product donations, in my opinion. When we're this small, we need all the help we can get.
Absolutely.
In the social media realm. So I'm really appreciative of those guys. You got anything?
Yeah, Josh Morgan. So they sent me 6 proofs on Thursday evening. I approved them Friday morning, the final proofs. I should hear back Monday, Tuesday timeframe on the for the finalized order form, so we can get those rolling for you. So this week. I mean, I'm gonna push it this week to have it done before the holidays kick off here, so we can get those ordered up for everybody and get that rolling.
Right. Real quick and real quick before we do the giveaway, I'll give y'all one more chance to get in there. Just like we said earlier, you got to put in hashtag the SITREP. No spaces. I've seen a couple that are off. It's got to be just like it is right there on the screen. Hashtag the SITREP, and it will count your entry for the giveaway. We'll do that real quick after. I'll give you all a few minutes to finalize that. Make sure you like and share the post and then comment. And we'll kind of go over a little some of our upcoming events again real quick. Just so South Carolina Open, July 13th on Lake Murray coming up. And then Louisiana's looking to start their opens roughly on the 20th. Toledo Bend, potentially we'll get that information out. And if you're not following their page, if you're planning on making it to some of those, you know, make sure you're following their page. And then New Hampshire, y'all got your 4th qualifier at the end of next month, June 20 or July 27th on Ossipee.
Yep.
Did I write that down?
Yeah.
Ossipee. What's that like real quick?
Busy. It's extremely busy.
Yeah.
It's just the time of the year up here. We get people from all surrounding states that buy up all the homes on all the lakes, and Pleasure Boat City, but it's a good lake. There's some big fish in there for sure. So it should be good. It's like one main bowl on the lake. It gets pretty deep. There's a couple inlets off the side of that have some good grass and pads and stuff. And then there's like a channel you can follow, and you get more into like the backwater type stuff if you keep going down that. So a little something for everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
Smallmouth and largemouth there too?
Yep. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So anybody can go up there and try to catch them. Somebody's got a string. 100%. Cool. There's that 100% again I was real bad about last week. It's starting to sneak its way back out. Man. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. We talked a lot about Bobby and For His Glory Outdoors and his Guardian Classic, and how great of an organization that is. And man, I'm excited for it. I can't imagine it being more than, or I'm trying to think of how I wanted to say that. I lost myself there. It will be better than the last 2 years. I know that for a fact, and I can't imagine what that looks like because it's been the first year was fantastic, and it was like, oh well, there's no room for growth, and I was wrong. It got way better last year, and then I'm sure this year they're going to do something crazy. I like that idea he did with the small fish
that's cool.
pot, and then the small bag. I really like. Add some fun to it, you know what I mean? Especially if you're like me and you can't fish them or can't catch them then in that time of year. But we'll go ahead and get over to our giveaway. Let me go ahead and set up the screen share. We got 16.
All right.
16 entries. And I don't know why it's not showing there it is, the screen share. So we'll go ahead and give that away. So that's for a hat, barbecue sauce, 2 bottles of barbecue sauce, and a neck gator. So that's going to go to Melissa Hunt. Copy that, Melissa Hunt. So please send PM to Armed Forces Fishing League's main page or AFFL-South Carolina, or send us an email at AFFL.SouthCarolina@gmail.com, and we'll get you, send us your address and we'll get that mailed out to you. Man, it's been a good one. I think we did a little better this week. I know I feel like I said less ums.
All good.
I think we'll see in the replay. I just said it there, but I think we did
a good one.
Yeah, I think it was good. I'm glad we got
people got to meet Bobby. This is who we're donating to next year, so people can understand his mission and all the good that he does for our veterans, and he's just a good person in general, man. So I hope everybody that was curious about the organization got all their questions answered and have a good understanding of why we are going towards his organization with our donations.
Right. I think, listening to his story right there, seeing what he does, seeing the Guardian Classic, it's really hard not to understand. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. If some of y'all still don't understand, it's a
call him.
Call us.
Him.
Yeah.
Or call him. He'll answer.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I think it's pretty awesome what he does. I've been around him a lot, and I've said it a bunch tonight, and I'll say it every day. We couldn't run our organization in South Carolina as smooth as we do without him. He's definitely been good at keeping me in check and keeping everything smooth. But that's about it. If you got anything else, Nick, I don't know.
I'm good. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the stuff that comes out. And this podcast, if you came in late, will be available so you can rewatch it or re-listen to it on multiple platforms.
Yeah, we've got it on the Apple Podcast. The replay will obviously be good here on Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah, make sure y'all do that and join our website, or go to our website, armedforcesfishing.com. Check out the merch. We got some good merch going on. Check it out. And next week we're going to have some hats potentially from Southern Goon for the Sunday SITREP. So make sure y'all tune in then. Peace. See y'all.
Thanks, guys.